Do not become agitated. Don't jump ship. Do not allow offense to hit your heart. When offense hits your heart, it becomes incredibly difficult for you to receive instruction, impartation, moving forward from there. Then, and then we jumped into, so tonight, I said today. Hey, listen, it's raining out there. Stay dry, stay warm, and thanks so much for sharing. Thanks for sharing. So the term family is such a powerful term that has been used. It's been hijacked by so many groups. Gangs use it. Sporting teams use it.
Yeah.
Military, Dr. T and I, prior military. The military use it. We call it our family at that particular unit. And that thing can be nailed down. We want to make sure the power of family, it benefits us.
Yeah.
Let's make sure the power of family benefits us.
Yeah, and I love that, because when we talk about what we're going to talk about, is we're talking about the idea of growing together. Mm-hmm. And what we have to understand with that is life has phases that are filled with unexpected, unplanned ups and downs. That's the reality of life. And without the correct thought process, what is the norm will actually become a source of discomfort or even a source of disagreement. So we have to get on top of it as soon as possible. We have to work this thing out. And that's all a part of growing together. It is. It's just filled with ups and downs, because that's life. And don't look at life like it's not worth anything or that like you're failing when you experience these ups and downs. That is a part of the life journey. And don't get all frustrated as your kids are finding themselves in that, because they're finding themselves. It's like, it's amazing how when our children are small and can't talk that much, we have so much more patience with them exploring and trying to find things out about themselves.
That's good.
Those, as they mature and the stages that they go through change, they change, but they're still exploring. Right. Some of us as adults are still exploring. We have to make sure that we're growing together in this process.
Right. See, growth will take place.
Right.
But us growing together is not automatic.
Absolutely.
So we have to be very intentional as we grow together.
Right.
So now, growing together, it has to be a choice by everyone.
Absolutely.
So if it's not a choice by everyone, until everybody buy in, commit to a season of prayer for God to align their heart. Also, we may need extra grace for the family, and make sure that we're in a place of forgiveness, because until we commit to grow together, we may have some behavior that's just a little aggravating.
Right.
Like, you follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not committed to this whole family thing. I'm done with all of y'all. All of y'all. As soon as I'm old enough, I know I'm 6 right now, but as soon as I'm old enough, I'm out this joint.
This piece. Right.
So as a result of that, our behavior may not be conducive long-term for the family. So until it's a choice by everybody, so growing together, this has to be a choice by everybody. Everyone has to buy in. But until then, commit to a season of prayer for God to turn the hearts of those who are not family committed, who are not family oriented as well. We got to get into a place where we have forgiveness, because in the midst of it, I may do some things that are harmful, that hurt my family. And when I come to myself, prodigal son, when I come to myself and I return back and say, hey, can we move forward? I apologize.
Yeah.
If your heart is not open to forgive, I'm going to meet something very, very different there.
Right.
So we got to make sure that this is a choice by everybody.
Right. And I think this is good, Dr. James. And we had talked about how this time can't be a time of like a demonic weapon that's used to tear us down as a family or to break us apart. And
that's good.
And I think one of the major examples of that is how a person can become so frustrated with their children because their children are acting like they used to act.
Yes. Going through the same stuff you used to go through.
You're annoyed with them because you was fast. You was fast. You were fast, and now you're seeing fast qualities in your child, and now you all are at odds because you notice it and you're trying to break it out of them. And there's a way to do it. There's an app for that. There's an answer.
You got 7 baby daddies, and you throwing off that your daughter sleeping around. Where did she get it from?
Right.
But I'll mind my business. So
Let me mind my business. That's hilarious.
Oh,
But
God.
so that choice thing is important, and then it has to be confronted. It absolutely has to be confronted. We have to address it. Without addressing it, we do ourselves a disservice.
Right.
For many of us, our birth family, they're really a stepping stone used to get us to our own family. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And this has to be rejected. So with it, we got to make sure we reject that mindset. We got to reject the mindset that, this group is a stepping stone. We shouldn't replace people. The mindset that replaces people, it devalues and it divides us. We got to make sure that we're free from that kind of stuff. We can't be those people there. And we got to repent when we've embraced this stuff.
Yeah.
We got to repent for it. We have to make sure that we have a resolve to do better moving forward.
Right.
Put in the timeline, I will do better. Put in the timeline, I will do better. Then we got to rescue those who followed our lead and they've given themselves into this. We got to rescue our brothers. We got to rescue our sisters. We have been an example of flipping our family off. We've been an example of tearing our families down.
Yeah.
We got to go back and rescue those. Don't be mad with them because they picked it up from the community. We are all a part of the community. Whether you had a direct hand in it or not, we got to make sure that we own our part, all right?
Absolutely.
So we got to reject the mindset, that would have our family as a stepping stone. We got to repent that we've ever embraced this. Are you with me? We got to have a resolve to do better moving forward because our habits are stronger than our desires in many cases. And we have a habit of flipping our family off. We have a habit of casting people aside. And then we got to go and rescue those who followed our lead and they are giving themselves over to this same thing.
Absolutely.
You can't be mad with them. We got to go rescue them.
I love it.
And then we got to commit. We got to commit to growing together. But this commitment is beyond glitz and it's beyond glamour. So we are committed to growing together. What are we committed to?
Growing together.
What are we committed to? Growing together. We're going to grow regardless, but let's be committed to growing together.
Right.
See, growth, if you breathe in, hold it, breathe out. You breathe in, hold it, breathe out. You're going to continue to grow, positive or negative. So let's make a plan to grow in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Let's make a plan to grow in harmony and unity with our family. Let's make a plan to grow together so we can defeat every obstacle and do something significant for our family and set an example for those who are coming behind us.
And I think this is good because as we talk about the whole idea of, this commitment beyond the glamour and the glitz, at the end of the day, I think we have to just continually address for our own sanity purposes, so to speak, that at the end of the day, most of our frustrations come at the hand of people.
Right, absolutely.
And we,
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we get more frustrated faster with the people in our family than we do with strangers.
Right. See, the closer you are, the faster I can become frustrated with you.
Absolutely.
Once things change. Now, let's go back because you mentioned the baby. You mentioned a baby. When we have a newborn, that newborn can't do anything wrong. Nothing wrong. And that newborn is incredibly needy. Now, let's be honest with it. The newborn is incredibly needy. And cannot do anything for him or herself.
That's right.
No matter how inconvenienced we have become.
Right.
For that newborn, we don't, unless something's wrong, we don't take it out on that newborn.
Right.
That child wakes up in the morning, you're going to get up.
That's
Middle
right.
of the night, you're going to get up.
Yep.
You're not going to get up and start yelling at the child. You're not going to get up and chastise the child. You're not going to get up and ground the child. You're not going to get up and do all, you're going to get up and tend to the child.
Absolutely.
Because something is wrong.
Something is wrong, and that is why we cannot back away when things become trying, when things become tough, when they become turbulent. We don't back away. What we do is we roll our sleeves up. We get to work.
That's why I got short sleeves on today, so I could keep my sleeves rolled up. I got you. I love it.
Yeah, but we got to get to work, and the level of difficulty that we're facing during this season, it doesn't matter because we're going to overcome it.
Right. See, and I like that because we fight at the level of the difficulty that we're up against.
Absolutely.
We don't fight at a different level.
Right.
So if I'm at level 8 difficulty, I'm not going to show up at level 5 fighting.
That's right.
No. Some
Right.
things I need to bring friends along with me.
Right.
Some things I need to get professional help to deal with.
Yes.
Some things require fasting. Some things require me sowing a seed. Some things require me bringing somebody else in. So if I'm at a level 8 fighting, attack, I'm going to show up at a level 9 or level 10.
Bring your A game.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
Bring your A game.
Absolutely. When you're facing a serious foe, when you're facing someone major, you are not going to scale back like that. You just not going to do it. You're not going to pull yourself back and put yourself in a position where you'll be overwhelmed or overrun.
Absolutely. And so there's some keys that pertain to growth. There's some keys that pertain to growth. The first thing is growth must be owned.
Yes,
indeed. It must be owned. Growth is not automatic. It is not automatic. And I'll tell you this, if left alone, things and people, they do not just automatically improve. There must be a true desire. That's why growth must be owned, and that's why growth is not automatic. There must be a true desire. It could be as simple as not wanting to be left behind to as major as a personal desire. Either way, like I said, growth, it must be totally earned. Somebody put in the timeline, growth must be earned.
Yeah, because it's not automatic.
Yes.
It will not just happen.
Don't
yes,
just
indeed.
happen.
And growth has to be orchestrated. You got to put yourself in a position to grow. Put yourself in a position to grow. Now this is something that requires us committing on the inside. I got to be committed to growing. I can't just lay this thing down.
Right.
I got to be committed to growing. You understand? And I got to put myself in a place to grow. So I got to rub shoulders. Iron sharpens iron, but only when they touch.
Ha!
Iron does not sharpen iron when it's on the shelf.
Say that.
I got my sword. You know what I'm saying? I want my sword to be the sharpest sword in the land. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to put my sword on the shelf.
Yes.
I got to make sure that thing is touching. So I want to be a better father. I need to hang around better fathers.
Right.
I want to have greater patience. I need to start hanging with people who are patient.
Yeah.
No, I got to put myself. I got to put myself in that position. Absolutely.
So it's orchestrated, right? And then growth has to outlast old and poor habits. It has to outlast old and poor habits. And here's the thing. These old and poor habits that have held you up in the past, you got to make sure that you get on top of these things. Bring your A game.
Yep.
So it is, listen, at the end of the day, it is unwise to think that yesterday's strongholds won't show up for us today. And the challenge with that.
Reverend, hold up. Mic drop.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The challenge with that is we tend to, when that happens, we tend to feel sorry for ourselves, telling ourselves that we're not good enough or that we are failures or that we'll never conquer it. You just have to realize that's how the enemy operates. He doesn't bring something new to you if the old works.
Right.
Absolutely. You got to do the right thing.
Absolutely. And it's going to show up fierce.
Yes.
It's not going to show up timid. It's not going to be all tiptoeing. No, that thing going to bust you upside the head.
That's right.
And then growth has to be observed to determine what's required for your current season.
Right.
So now, in order for me to grow in one season, it may not be the same in another season.
Right.
I used to be a fault finder, right? So I'm making this up for this example, but you'll catch the point. What was growth for me as a fault finder is not the same as what's growth for me as a critical thinker.
Right.
So as a fault finder,
that's good.
in order to grow, I simply had to take ownership.
Absolutely.
I just had to take ownership.
Yeah.
I had to realize that under pressure, I panic.
Yeah.
Under pressure, I'm pointing the finger. It's everybody else's
stuff.
fault. As a fault finder. So what was growth for me as a fault finder is not going to be the same thing as growth for me as a critical thinker.
Absolutely.
Now that I'm a critical thinker, growth for me is being around other thinkers. Growth for me is exposing myself to more knowledge.
Good.
You understand? So I can now take my critical thinking to another level. Growth for me now is excellence in problem solving.
Yeah.
Because I'm a critical thinker.
Absolutely.
And then growth has to
override comfort. It has to override comfort. Here's the reality of it. It will not always feel good or be desirable to go through the process. You know, we know the word. The word says, for the joy that is set before me.
He endured the cross. Listen, it wasn't the nails. It was your deliverance.
Yes.
It wasn't hanging there on the tree. It was your deliverance. It wasn't any of those things. It wasn't being whooped. He did not allow himself to be beat. Who is he? He is Jesus. Did not allow himself to be beat just because he thought it was fun and he wanted to see how much he could take.
Right.
He only did that for your freedom and mine. My God, today.
Right. You know, and just thinking about the whole family essence, you know, kids, Lord, these kids. Spouse, oh, this husband of mine, this wife of mine. You know, we can't think like that. We have to override the comfort piece, and we have to get to work.
Go ahead. No.
Strap in, strap on, and move with deliberate speed.
Yes, indeed. So now with it, for some of us as members of the household, we got to take this and own this, because one of the issues with my family moving forward is me.
Say it.
One of the problems in my household is me. One of the things that's causing constant disturbance and constant issues in my house, come on now, it's me. So what I have to do is I have to grow to the point that I override comfort. I'm committed to growing. It's comfortable sitting around doing nothing, but that's hurting my family.
Absolutely.
It's excuse me. It's comfortable doing more of what I've already done, but that's hurting my family.
Absolutely.
It's comfortable for me to find excuses, but that's hurting my family. It's comfortable for me to feel like the victim when they point out stuff I shouldn't be doing no way.
Come through.
I'm teaching up in here. We teaching up in here. Come on now. It's comfortable. However, that is hurting my family.
Absolutely.
So what I can't do is have this measuring rod for my son, measuring rod for my daughter, measuring rod for my spouse that I am not already living up to.
That's right.
So growth, I have to override all comfort. Got to override it.
And in that, let me just kind of say this before we move forward. It will be inconvenient. Be inconvenienced because it's worth it. And stop isolating yourself, because isolation at the time where the family is trying to grow is not the best or the right posture to have. And then irritability. I understand that it's irritating, but listen, you got to realize that there's something on the other side of the irritation. When you strap in and put your work in, you got to understand that as you make the time to override your comfort, you expect some stuff from your family. That's why when you do it, you're going to be the type of person to say, I know the work that I put into this family. There's no way that listen, we don't lose. We don't lose. We don't cower. We don't back down. We don't give in. We have worked to get this rhythm in this family, and that's why we always win.
Absolutely. So then, listen, that was the first session, and we just covered some of the stuff that we didn't get a chance to cover last night. So now we're going to jump into the second one. However, we are not going to cover as much of it as we were able to do on the first one, because we only got a couple of minutes, y'all. So let's maximize our time. So gaining ground. Now, this is where we become a collective, committed, and cohesive group that works for the success of the entire family.
Yes.
The entire family. So we've seen families come together for crisis. Let's come together to catapult each other forward. Let's come together, not for a crisis, not because somebody's died, not because somebody's in the hospital. Let's come together to catapult one another forward.
Now, before we go into that, I do want to just kind of settle this part with the growth piece. Listen, we are not giving permission to toxic people in the family to be toxic.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah. So we have to make sure that is very clear. We don't allow toxic stuff to ride.
No.
We don't allow toxic stuff in the family to ride.
No.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Yes, indeed. If we have toxic people, we have to make sure we isolate them. To where, so I'll use the...
they get the anti-venom.
Yeah, I'll use it, use the Tasmanian devil.
Yes.
Put that joker in a box, the Acme box, and don't open it up. The family keeps going on, because the minute that joker gets out, he or she will tear everything and everybody up.
Absolutely.
These people cannot be reasoned with. No, they need a revelation from the Lord. They need an interrupt, a spiritual interrupt. Until that happens, they are not good to be around, because they will tear up everybody, including themselves.
Yes.
Are you with me? So the terrorist, the 9/11, September the 11th, 2001. Remember? The terrorists were toxic.
Yes.
Destroying themselves meant absolutely nothing. Are you with me? That's a toxic thinker.
Yes.
So if you do this, it's going to hurt the whole family. I don't care. That's toxic.
That's toxic.
Are you with me? I'm not talking about somebody being mad or stubborn. So don't take a stubborn child and make them a toxic child.
Absolutely.
Don't take a difficult season and make it a toxic season.
Yes,
you
that's
said
good.
I didn't have to do this. That boy keep cutting school. He toxic. No. That's not toxic. It's not.
Remember,
that's turbulent.
That's
turbulent. That's tough.
Right. Discovery.
Yeah, just hold on.
Yes.
Ooh, that boy we're going to get this school thing together.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? That boy keeps smoking weed. And you know you smoke weed, you'll kill people, you'll rape. That boy's a raper and a murderer. That's not true. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
All right.
So yeah. So now on purpose, we're going to dig our heels in and we're gaining ground. We're not giving up an inch. Put in the timeline, I will not give up an inch. Put in the timeline, I will not give up an inch. We are not moving our family forward to leave our backs all exposed.
Say it.
No, sir, no, ma'am. As we move forward, everything is protected. Our front is protected. Our side is protected. Our rear is protected. We are not ignorant to the fact of what we're doing is not normal. It is not something that has been seen in our society, and it will require a cost.
Yes.
We are going to have to pay for this. I'm not talking dollars and cents. I'm talking sweat equity. I'm talking some relationships. Excuse me, some relationships will have to be redefined because, man, I don't take all that. Man, just let people go and do what they're going to do. No, my family not going to be left by the wayside.
Right.
I will commit to a season of prayer until they're delivered.
Right.
That season may be 6 weeks, it may be 6 years, it may be 60. I don't care.
Right.
They will be. Are you with me there?
Right.
So now, you can't be around people who are okay throwing their family away. Now, again, we ain't talking about no toxic people. We ain't throwing them away, but we isolating them until they get the antivenom, as Dr. T said.
Yes.
So we're going to be very intentional and very deliberate in this.
Absolutely. And so I really want to encourage people who didn't have a chance to be with us last night to go back and look at last night. We hit some things on gaining ground.
Yes,
when we
indeed.
talked about how children are an inheritance.
Yep.
We talked about that. We looked at Proverbs 13:22, talking about that inheritance. We talked about some keys for the children. And I think...
Now, I do want to hit something that we didn't cover last night.
Okay.
And we may skim over it today, but if we're going to hang our hat anywhere, I want to hang our hat on this one.
Cool. I just want to encourage you to make sure that you watch from last night.
Right.
Because
you got to go back and check out
some
last
different
night.
keys. Go
You
ahead.
got to go back out and check out. You got to go back and check out last night.
Yeah.
Many of us parent like slave masters. Don't turn me off and don't be offended.
Oh.
Slave masters do not prepare for the slaves. There's nothing for their future. Many of us have never prepared for our son's future, our daughter's future. We hope they get into college. We hope they get a good job. We hope things work out for them. We hope they get married. We hope they have kids. We hope. But we've not prepared anything for them. What you mean, Pastor? He's been with me all this time. He didn't see what I've done. No. See, that's a slave master. We beat them when they do wrong. We chastise them when they do wrong. We don't celebrate them. We don't create an environment for celebration for them. Slave masters never celebrated an accomplishment. If you pick the right amount, I know this may be tough, but I'm just telling you. See, some of us got it handed down like that. Our parents didn't mean any harm. Their parents didn't mean any harm. But this was the system that we were modeling after because that was the one that was held in high esteem. Not the way they held their household, the way they dealt with us. So the way they dealt with our ancestors, if you did wrong, you'd be severely punished swiftly.
Right.
Swiftly, you'd be severely punished, right? If you did anything right, you just wouldn't be punished. Now think about that.
That's serious.
The reward for doing right was not being punished. Now, I just need you to understand that. If that's the model of your household, I'm not saying that you're a bad parent. I'm saying we got to throw that model away, okay? Let's bring in the different model, right? Now let's pattern ourselves after our Heavenly Father. Daily, God loads us with benefits. How does he do it? Daily, right? He said the sun hits the just and the unjust. Rain comes for the just and the unjust. In other words, opportunities to move forward hit everybody. Now, he gave us a covenant. He gave us an opportunity. And he said that if we cast our care on him,
come on,
he got us covered.
Yes.
So if I run into some problems, all I got to do is come to him.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't matter if I'm wrong or right. He has an incredibly different parenting system than many of us were introduced to. See, we have a situation that we have to overcome that very few people do. So we were brought to this country as property.
Right.
As a result of that, the way family lineage was, ours was cut off. The way our ancestors raised, developed, trained, that was cut off. So we had to learn everything while we were here. Okay, cool, no problem. However, we didn't have long-standing legacy and traditions that moved down.
Yes.
So what we started to model is how we were treated by the authority that we were under. The slave master was that authority. So the slave master became our father. The slave master was the one that we were trying to please, or the one we were trying to live up to. Am I making sense to you there? And many of us, we grab this, and that's how we parent our sons and daughters today.
Yes.
It's not that we hate them, but we didn't see the right system. So what we're walking out today is the model that the slave master had for the slave. So let's break that.
Yes.
Let's attack that. We're gaining ground. So I will reward my son, reward my daughter 10-1 from me correcting. This is what I mean. If I correct them one time, I'm going to reward. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to speak well. With the same, veracity, the same power,
intensity.
the same intent, thank you, the same intensity. So if it's, come here, let me talk to you about your grades, then it's going to be 10. Hey, look at my son is amazing. My son is great. Come on now. 10 of those to every one until this thing becomes second nature for us. And my brothers and my sisters, we are over time.
Yes, completely out of time. Let me kind of say this. First, that was amazing. I want you to understand that no matter what your family dynamics are, these principles work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
These principles work no matter what your family dynamics are. You could be parenting right now, school-age children, teenage children. You can be parenting by permission for young adults. Mm-hmm. You can be single with no kids, but all relationships require work.
Ooh, you are on
So
it.
at the end of the day, don't think that because your family dynamics are different, that this doesn't matter. And let me tell you, this absolutely is the same principles that you hold when you have a blended family.
Absolutely.
So you don't treat children different. And I don't care what the baby mama or the baby daddy situation and attitude is. You still maintain and hold your course, and you treat all children the same. A blended family is just that. When you blend, when you make a strawberry banana smoothie, you don't delineate between the strawberries and the bananas.
You can't separate them once
You
they
cannot
blended.
separate them once they're blended. So you better believe that this pertains to everybody, no matter what your family dynamics are. And yes, we are out of time.
Hey, blessings. Join us tonight, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. If you're in Jacksonville, you need to be in the building. Now, also, if you've registered, you should have your download.
Yes.
Your download is loaded. Your download is thick. So we'll go into a little bit of that tonight. So I just want to stay as close to our time as
possible.
we committed to. Blessings be upon you. Love you. See you tonight at 7. Bye for now.
Until next time, expect God to do something to amaze you. Enjoy His goodness and elevate His kingdom through your life.